Welcome back to another video by TechPoint Youth. I'm Jake Simons, and today we're going to be tackling a VEX IQ pneumatics kit. We'll discuss why you should use pneumatics, how it works, how they connect, and ultimately how to code pneumatics for movement. Now, in VEX IQ, you're allowed a maximum of 6 motors on your robot per the game manual and the inspection checklist form. But sometimes you need more moving parts on your robot than what your motors allow. That's where pneumatics comes in. Pneumatics, in a nutshell, gives you more quote-unquote motors or movement to allow your robot to do more in a match. It's a massive advantage since you're capped at 6 actual motors. So we're going to dive in right now into how that works. Here we go. Let's open up our brand new VEX IQ pneumatics kit here and go through all the different parts because there are a lot, and at first glance this can look pretty confusing. So first and foremost, this right here is your air tank, and this is really honestly the main storage for your air during the match. Right here is your tubing, and it comes with a pretty long length of tubing here that you need to cut to length to just feed and supply your cylinders. And these are your cylinders. You have 8 different cylinders, 2 different lengths. And the cool thing about these cylinders is it has what's called a plunger that extends or retracts depending on where the air is flowing. So these are what ultimately cause the movement of your pneumatics. Right here, we have what's called the solenoids, and that's the part that turns the airflow on or off to your cylinders. We have a bunch of fittings right here that can help you redirect your air. So it comes in different shapes here. And the cool thing about these is that they have the pin tips that help you easily anchor into different beams and whatnot. Then finally, the final piece here, this is really neat and unique. This is the part that connects into your solenoid right here. And this is your air pump. It refills the air tanks throughout the match while your pneumatic system is running so that you have a continuous supply of air and movement. So what is pneumatics and how does it work? In a very simple way, pneumatics uses compressed air to push pistons or the plunger in and out for movement, giving very powerful linear motion. So it's great for claws, it's great for arms, and depending on the weight, it's great even for lifts. But basically, in a nutshell, you use your pump, which pressurizes the air, which is then stored in the air tank. Your solenoid directs the air to your cylinder using your tubing. And once the tubes are connected right here, your piston extends or retracts. Now, the cool thing about the solenoid here is that it switches which port gets the air and which one vents, making your cylinder ultimately move. Now, this right here, you can see right here, should look very familiar to you. This is just like what you see on motors, just like what you would see on different sensors. You would use your smart cable connecting here, going all the way to a port on your brain, and that's ultimately how you would control your pneumatics system. So let's go ahead and put together our pneumatics kit here and get that going. So very first step is you're going to take your air tank and connect it to your air pump and make sure that your nozzles are facing the same direction just to make things easier later on. Step 2 is to cut your tubing here. I've already pre-cut mine so that you don't have to see me struggle with that, but we use a utility knife, or you can use really sharp scissors to make sure that you get that really nice even cut. But you're going to take your tubing here and fit it really snugly and tight onto the nozzles of your air pump and your air tank. Just push it down as far as you can, just like that. Again, down as snug and tight as you can. Step 3 then would be to, in this case, use a T-fitting to connect your tubing together. Here is a T-fitting. And you can see right there that we're going to have tubing go into this side of the T. Again, nice and snug. And tubing going into this side of the T. We don't want any air to leak out of this, because then that will obviously affect the pressure, which will then affect the movement of your cylinder. There we go. Nice and snug. Then finally, you're going to take your last piece here of tubing, connect it to the bottom part of your T, which will eventually send air to your solenoid. And again, the nice thing about these T-fittings is that they have a pin tip right here that will fit right into your 2x-beams or 1x-beams or whatever, just to anchor it in there. The next step in connecting all of your parts of your pneumatics kit is to connect this piece right here that comes from your air tank and your air pump into your solenoid. Now, if you look closely at the solenoid here, there are two sides, the left and right side. We're going to focus on just one side for right now to move one cylinder. But if you notice on this side right here and on this side, there's an A label, a P label, and a B label. We want to put this tube into the P label because that is your input. That is your air input. And if you notice on the cylinder, which is where the tubing is going to go next, on your cylinder, there's a label A and a label B. That's going to be your retracting in and out. And so you will take two more pieces of tubing, connect them into the A and B labels, connecting and matching to the A and B labels of your cylinder. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Here is A going into A. And then here is B going into B. And now, because of the airflow from your pump and your tank to the T-fitting into your solenoid to ports A and B of your cylinder, it will now go in and out once we program it. I did forget a pretty important step, but I'm assuming that you would have figured this out. This 3-color wire here, this cable goes right into your solenoid. So this is from your pump to your solenoid, slides right in, snaps into place. And then, of course, on the other side, like we mentioned earlier, is your port to connect your smart cable to your brain. And we're just going to go ahead and put that into port 1. And again, this looks like a lot, and that's because it is. But the cool thing about all of these parts is they have pinholes everywhere so that you can tack them into, the sides of your robot and things like that. And then you can see right here on your cylinder, there are pinholes here to, perhaps use as a claw to tap into beams or whatever for that movement. Now that it's all put together, we are ready to code it and actually make it work. So go to codeiq.vex.com or open up your app. And the very first thing you're going to do is click on the devices and add a device. This should look familiar to you. You can add motors, controllers, sensors, all that stuff. But at the very bottom, you can add a pneumatic. And we put it in port 1. And you'll notice here that the picture of the solenoid has 4 tubes coming out of it, pointing to 2 cylinders, which is pretty neat because if you're doing a claw, for example, you might need a left and a right side in order to grab onto something. For the sake of this tutorial, we are simply going to stick with just the one side here of the solenoid. Click Done, and you'll notice that it adds a whole new set of blocks here. And that's it. That's all you will need is those two blocks right there in order to get this to work. So when your program starts here, we are going to simply set the pneumatic pump to on. And you'll notice when you start your program, you'll hear a sort of humming or buzzing sound. That is your pump starting to work. Then you'll go down to sensing. And we're going to go ahead and click on when brain left arrow button is pressed. Now, obviously, when you're doing a driving match or programming, you're not going to be using your brain buttons to control it. So you'll go back into your devices and add controllers and things like that. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to do it on the brain. So we're going to duplicate this actually here because we want it to extend and retract, and we want two different buttons to do that. So we're going to do a left button and a right button push in order to get the pneumatics piston or the cylinder to work. So then the next thing, literally as simple as this, we drag this block here, drag the same block here. And again, we don't want them to do the exact same thing. When we press the left button, we want the cylinder to extend. When we press the right button, we want the cylinder to retract. And that is literally as simple as it goes. So we're going to go ahead and download this into port 1. We need to save the project. Let's go ahead and name it. Let's go ahead and name it Pneumatics Test. Save. Now we're going to download it into slot 1. Would you like to see your project? No, we just did that. There we go. Now it's downloading. All right, it is finished downloading. It is in slot 1 of our brain, and we are simply going to see if this works. As soon as you get into the program, you're going to hear that humming sound. And again, that is your pump working. And here is your cylinder. Let's see if it works. Out, in, out, in. There we go. That is pretty neat and pretty simple. I mentioned earlier that there are limits. Just like you have limitations to 6 motors, you also have limits with your pneumatics kit. So if you go to the robot inspection checklist and scroll all the way down to the second page, there's an actual section right there all about pneumatics. And so your robot is only allowed a maximum of 2 VEX IQ pneumatic air tanks and only 1 air pump. That's where you're going to have to start brainstorming on how you're going to be using your pneumatics in conjunction with your 6 motors. And that's it. Your pump builds the pressure, your code drives the motion, and they work in unison to make your robot move. So I'm going to leave you today with some good discussion questions for you and your students. Question number 1. Where could a pneumatic actuator be more effective than a motor? Question number 2. How might you control 2 different cylinders independently? Question number 3. What checks should students do before running pneumatics in their match? And question number 4. How could pneumatics be integrated into autonomous routines? Have fun.